The fourth category of codes is machine handling, that is the codes required to interact with the machine manually or give them a manual command to generate an automatic response. The category has 7 codes in total. They are M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6 and M7. An example of machine handling would be lifting a presser foot. The first code is M1, which is for sew to hold, that is giving 2 to 3 stitches in the start of a stitch to hold the fabric under the foot and the needle. This is done so as to perform other operations like lining or repositioning of the parts or fabric. The motion is explained better in the video. The M1 or sew to hold starts from the point the operator starts stitching. That is the 2 to 3 stitches given in the beginning. So he sews to hold the fabric and does the following operations. So this motion code basically has 2 motion elements, which is start of machine using a foot motion and then again a foot motion to stop the machine. So an F and F and your sew to hold code is complete. So he starts the machine at this point and then lifts his leg off the treadle. So it's 2F. The next code is M2 and stands for the motion of raising or lowering a needle using the wheel or manually raising or lowering a needle into the fabric or the part that is being worked upon. All the motion elements are performed using the right hand here, as the wheel is situated on the right hand side of the body. So the motion is explained in the video again. So getting the wheel, rotating it or to lower the needle. Also the wheel has to be handled twice, because in a general case the needle cannot be lowered to the lowest position in just one rotation of the wheel. So he gets the wheel and rotates it twice, that is 2 foot motions, and then gets his hand back. So he reaches for the wheel using his right hand, which is accurate because the wheel is a big part of the machine and it does not have to be a very precise get. He turns the wheel, that is giving a crank motion, so we give a PA, gets to the top of the wheel again for the second rotation and then turns the wheel again, which is a PA 15, puts his hand back on the table and then starts sewing. So when he has to lower or raise the needle, he gets to the machine, puts it down, gets again, puts it down, and then hand back. The third motion is called M3 and is for the motion of engaging or disengaging a sewing guide. Now a sewing guide is basically an attachment used to ease the handling activities. Also all activities here too are performed using the right hand for the same reason as it was for the previous code. So this is a sewing guide, which you can see in the video, and engaging or disengaging it. This is the engaging operation where she engages it into operation. So she does not have to perform a fold operation, instead the sewing guide does it for her. So this code M3 stands for the action of engaging or disengaging the sewing guide. So she's engaging it, getting it and putting it in position, and after the motion is complete she will disengage the sewing guide, which is by getting the sewing guide again, getting it again and putting it aside. So it involves only a get and put sewing guide motion. So we have get anywhere at a distance of 15 centimeters and then putting it back in any position anywhere. Now because the guide is fixed, the motions involved are only GA and PA and not very precise, because the motion can be guided because of the fixed point of the guide. So we have a get guide and put guide. The next code is called M4 and describes the foot motion used to press treadle or for lifting presser foot using a knee lifter. So when you're using the presser foot in the lifted position, you actually use the knee lifter, which accounts for a foot motion or just an F. And this does not require any video, but just in case. This is a press treadle, which is a single foot motion, and this is the second and third foot motion. So this only involves a single foot motion, and F to press a treadle, or using a knee lifter over here, which is done using a knee and requires again 1 foot motion. The code M5 is for manual backtack, that is using the lever on the RHS of the operator. So all operators are done by the right hand. It starts with taking your hand to the lever and ends with getting your hand back to the table again. So we have the video which will explain the motion of backtacking manually. While sewing, she gets her hand, presses the lever. With a foot motion starts the machine and gets her hand back. So she takes her hand to the lever, presses the lever. With a foot motion, she starts the backward sewing process, which gives the backtack. When the backtack is done, she releases the lever and then gets her hand back. Takes her hand to the lever first, presses it, a foot motion to start sewing backwards, releases the hand and then gets it back. Let's do it again. Getting there, pressing, a backward foot motion, releasing and getting her hand back. Now code M6 is for automatic backtack, which is fed as a command to the sewing machine, and the number of backtacks are specified. We should know that this takes place as soon as the operator presses the treadle backwards, and the machine automatically backtacks and then cuts the thread using a UBT or an underbed trimmer. So the motions involved are only a single foot motion and a PRE20, which stands for machine process time, which is the time taken by the machine to do the backtacks. So in an automatic backtack, once the stitching is done, you just press the treadle backwards with 1 foot motion, and the machine takes a processing time to give 2 or 3 backtacks, or the number of backtacks that you have specified in the program. So it is an F and a PRE20. The last code is called M7 and describes the motions of backtacking using button provided right above the needle area. So if you see in the video, we have a button here right above the needle area. So she takes her hand to the button, presses it, and then gets her hand back. So if you see the codes here, she gets to the button, presses the button, and then there is a machine processing time again here, because while the button is pressed and the machine is on, when you have pressed the treadle, it takes a few TMUs to go backwards and do the backtack. So while you're sewing forward, foot motion has already been done and the machine is already working. You just get your hand to the button, press it, and it takes a time to move backwards. That is the machine process time. Let us do this again. Taking your hand to the button, pressing it is a foot motion, and machine process time for the backward backtacks. And that was all for this topic. If you have any doubts regarding the concepts explained on the video, feel free to question us using our chat column on the right end of the web page, and we look forward to solving your queries as soon as possible.